And this tour will follow a similar format as my Italy tour with 3 nights in each stop. So we start in Nice, down on the French Riviera. Then we go to Lyon, which is the gourmet capital of France. Then we go to the wine country. We have 3 nights in beautiful small town in Burgundy. And then our grand finale on this tour is Paris, because you can't go to France without visiting Paris. So again, the reason I'm calling these Friends In tours is because, just like on my Italy tour, one of my focuses is introducing Americans to my wonderful friends in Europe who I hire as our local guides. And one of them is this fellow, my dear friend, Steve Smith, who when I started guiding for Rick Steves in 1991, Steve was the first guide with whom I apprenticed. And you may recognize him from Rick Steves' PBS shows in France, and he's Rick's co-author. And we are so fortunate that he lives in Burgundy part of the year. And when this tour, when my Friends in France tour is in Burgundy, he is going to be there, and he's actually going to be our local guide for a day on the wine route of Burgundy. So it's just so fortunate. I'm so excited to introduce you all to him. He's just a sweet guy and so knowledgeable, and has that great perspective of an American who lives part-time in France. So he sees both sides. So just a couple quick highlights of this tour I want to talk about. The first one is our time on the Riviera when we're staying in Nice. And this might be your image of the Riviera with the boats and the colorful harbor and lots of tourists. But my other focus on this tour, on my tours, besides introducing you to my European friends, is trying to get a little deeper than the touristy veneer. So popular places like the Riviera, looking for a different angle, different aspects of it that a tourist on their own might not find. So instead of focusing on the glitz, one thing we're going to do to kind of get to know the local culture is go on a food walking tour when we're in Nice with this wonderful gourmet local guide who's going to take us to several stops, like this absolute jewel box of a candy shop where we will definitely have samples. We'll go to a local market where the tourists, where the locals shop, not the tourists. And we'll see what's fresh and in season. And of course, we'll have to try a sip of pastis, the anise flavored aperitif that is loved in the south of France and gets those digestive juices flowing so you can enjoy a great French meal. So we'll really see how the locals shop and eat and cook on this tour. And another thing we'll do to kind of try and go a little deeper is a day trip around the Riviera. And yes, we were going to go here to Monaco, which I know is like the ultimate touristy stop. And it is so fun to check out these luxurious high rises and, the mega yachts in the harbor. So of course, we'll take some time to ogle those. But what I am just so excited to take you to is this stunning building, which is Monaco's Oceanographic Museum. So all the princes of Monaco have really been big supporters of oceanography, conservation, research, exploration since the early 1900s. So this stunning building on the edge of the cliff, this early 19th century building, inside has this state-of-the-art, absolutely fascinating museum about the oceans. So really like high-tech, hands-on, fascinating exhibits about the oceans inside a gorgeous 1910 building. Another place I'm going to take you on the Riviera is this gorgeous Villa Ephrussi, which was built in the early 1900s by a Rothschild heiress who was just a woman ahead of her time, such an amazing character. And she built this gorgeous villa filled with Rothschild, caliber, great masters art and antiques and stunning gardens with views of the Mediterranean from every room. But the stories about this woman that we'll hear from our local guide are just as amazing as the tour of the villa and her gardens. So another highlight I wanted to tell you about is just the whole city of Lyon, which I think you're going to feel like you're making a discovery that's not on most Americans' radar. And this is a city of beautifully lit squares, 20 Michelin-starred restaurants. It's considered the gourmet capital of France. There are 2 Roman amphitheaters, and even this photo was in high season, barely anyone there. So it really feels, you really feel like you're going somewhere that's not on most tourists' itinerary. Incredible murals around the city. This whole side of this building is a mural. And a great movie history. I mean, surprisingly, there's some fascinating things to see connected to the development of movies, which were invented in Lyon. So this is just a miniature movie set that you can see there. And our wonderful local guide is going to take us on a walking tour where we'll see that there are some just nondescript doors like this, but she's going to take us inside where there are these passageways that were used in the 1800s by the silk manufacturers to transport the fabric. But then we're going to hear stories about how they were used in World War II by the resistance workers. So again, so many more highlights to the tour, but really discovering less touristed sides of the big places and exploring some places that might not even have been on your radar, and meeting my wonderful local friends and getting to know a terrific small group of travelers. That's the highlights of my tours. So I hope you'll come join me.